of USC Upstate Athletics in association with Entercom Upstate Radio.
I'm sitting at midcourt, and the last time around, the wave took out half of my Coke, and it's coming again.
The wave is coming.
We, the fans, must stop this wave and protect our Coke. It's still coming. Cheerleaders, fire the t-shirt guns. Buzzer guy, distract them with buzzing. Wolf, howl. Hold on! Looks like we did it. Nice job, everybody.
Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
There's a reason why USC Upstate is one of the fastest growing universities in South Carolina. Promoting excellence in academics, student life, and athletics, USC Upstate offers 40 majors and is nationally recognized for its schools of business, nursing, and education. The Spartans compete in NCAA Division I as part of the Atlantic Sun Conference with 17 teams. Learn more at uscupstate.edu or call 503-5000. USC Upstate, where excellence expands across the upstate of South Carolina and beyond.
Live from Buffalo Wild Wings, it's the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. Get the inside scoop on Spartans basketball from head coach Eddie Payne and the voice of the Spartans, Phil Cox. The Upstate Basketball Coaches Show is presented by Coca-Cola of Spartanburg, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the Jeff Clark Nationwide Insurance Agency, College Point, USC Upstate, and Buffalo Wild Wings. Tweet us at Upstate Spartans. Now, here are Coach Payne and Phil Cox.
Well, the snow has melted, and Upstate has gotten 2 more wins since the last time we talked to you, as we are coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings here on WOEZL Boulevard in Spartanburg. It's the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. My name is Phil Cox, joined tonight by assistant coach Kyle Perry, as the head man Eddie Payne is out on the road recruiting tonight. And Coach Perry, we talked to you after the Kennesaw State game, and that's the kind of the first place where we'll start tonight. Obviously the Mercer win getting many of the headlines, but on Thursday night, 65-48, Ricardo Glenn with a double-double as you avenged your loss, or got revenge for your loss at Kennesaw State earlier in the year. Kind of a sloppy game at times, both teams maybe not executing the way they wanted to, but had some good consistency there with Glenn. And it just, you'll hear from Coach Payne. We had a tape segment with him coming up in a moment. Just seemed like your team down the stretch just continued to get better.
Yeah, Phil, our guys really defended, and we kept telling them during the game, if you keep defending, we're eventually going to make a run. They did. They kept getting stops, and we finally made, we had a flurry of baskets there and kind of pulled away. That's a good win for our team.
Ricardo Glenn ended up with 19 points, 12 rebounds, and he was just really, really strong. John Maxey in double figures as well. Fred Miller with 6 assists. It seems like through this 4-game winning streak, your team has been distributing the ball well, sharing the ball well, and I know those are stats that you and Coach Payne and Coach Hart look at very closely. Assists on made field goals, things like that, the good things you like to see your team do.
Yeah, Coach Payne he's really good at getting our team to share the ball, and we've got a good group. We've got good chemistry. Our kids enjoy playing with each other. They move the ball well. We've gone inside out with it, and therefore we have usually a pretty equal distribution of points, and have a high number of assists, which means we're really passing the ball well and sharing it well.
And then Coach, Saturday, 80-61, you got the win over Mercer, improving to 6-4 now in the league. Gosh, it just seemed like your guys were ready to play.
They were, and that's been the key to the last 4 games. And we've really pounded them, even today in practice, about being ready, and talking to our kids about continuing to stay ready, and keep pushing this thing and keep going, and don't go backwards. Keep going forwards, and keep the momentum going with the last 4 games.
Coach, it seemed like earlier on in the year your team would maybe not get the start that they wanted. They'd get behind. Even games they come back and win, like at South Carolina, you're down big. Charlotte, you're down big. Come back, take a lead, can't quite finish the game. Did you and the other assistants and Coach Payne, have y'all mentioned the importance of good starts, and that even though they have all that experience, don't dig yourself in a big hole early, play well, get the momentum, and then run with it?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to always get off to a good start, and for different reasons you don't sometimes. I think as the year has gone on, our kids have really bought into defending, and we've really preached defending. And even if we get off to a slow start offensively, we're keeping the games close. we're staying in them, and then at some point in time you're going to make a run offensively, because we do have a lot of kids who can score the basketball, and eventually you pull away and you can win the game. And I think that's why you've seen, even in the Kennesaw State game, it was close in the first half. We were not playing well offensively, but we were really guarding them, and eventually we pulled away.
Got down 7-2 to Mercer, then you go on a 15-0 run. Really, it seemed like to set the pace for that game. Mercer looked frustrated during that stretch. You hold Langston Hall to 2 points. Daniel Corsi, who had a big game down in the first game down at Hawkins Arena. Coach, he plays just 11 minutes. He was pulled early in both halves, and it looked like, and we talked about it with Coach Payne, it seemed like that Ricardo Glenn had more trouble against Mercer's front court. He had his way on Saturday.
Yeah, he did. Ricardo's really been playing determined in the last 4 games. He's had double-doubles and just really went at, those guys and was ready to play. And Torrey Craig, give him a lot of credit for guarding Langston Hall. He's had 2 very good games against him defensively. And, that's kind of what we're hanging our hat on, is defending, rebounding, being tough. And our kids have bought into it, and it's really helping us right now.
One more thing, Coach, before we go to break. This stat may not tell the whole story, as you got to the foul line a lot late in that game, but 30 of 40 from the stripe. You make 30 foul shots, you're going to win a lot of games.
Well, Coach preaches, that's a toughness thing. It's not necessarily, sometimes free throws are just having the right mindset, stepping up, being tough, and making them. And that's what our kids are doing. They're buying into, being tough. Like I said, I keep repeating, but, being ready defensively and playing hard and rebounding. And that all goes together hand in hand. If you're ready to play and your energy is where it needs to be, you step up, you have confidence, and you knock those shots down.
We're visiting with the assistant coach of the Spartans, one of the assistants. That's Kyle Perry here on the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. Live from Buffalo Wild Wings. You're also watching tonight on UpstateSpartans.com, as well as listening on WORD 950 in Spartanburg and 1330 in Greenville. We will take a break, come back. You'll hear from the head coach of the Spartans, Eddie Payne. He joined us for a few moments earlier. You'll hear his thoughts on the last 2 and on a little bit on the upcoming road trip as well. It's the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show on WORD 950 and 1330, and also watching on UpstateSpartans.com.
Tweet your questions for Coach Payne or Coach George at Upstate Spartans. We'll have more Upstate Basketball Coaches Show after this.
In the nation, we can't make traffic jams or love handles disappear, but you can get $100 off for every year of safe driving when you add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance.
Nationwide is on your side.
Upstate alumni receive a special discount on their auto insurance through Nationwide. For more information, call Jeff Clark at 814-3003.
Optional features subject to eligibility, underwriting guidelines, review, and approval. Max credit $500. Details and availability vary by state. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Are you looking for a place to make your home next year? Sign a lease on an apartment at College Point, and all fees will be waived. 4-bedroom apartments are just $469 a month, and 3-bedroom units are just $495 a month. And you get to enjoy all the fun and excitement of living right next to the USC Upstate campus. Call College Point today at 864-503-0333. That's 864-503-0333. College Point. Your lifestyle, your home.
At Enterprise, we not only rent great cars, we sell them too.
And buying from us is different than buying from anyone else.
At Enterprise, we clearly mark our lowest price on every car.
No games, that's the price. And every vehicle comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited powertrain warranty.
We'll even buy it back if you're unhappy for any reason.
It's like a happiness guarantee.
Haggle-free buying, worry-free ownership.
Let us show you what that means.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings here on WOO Ezel Boulevard in Spartanburg. We're joined tonight by the assistant coach of the Spartans. That's Kyle Perry. Eddie Payne on the road recruiting tonight. And, Coach, obviously recruiting is not something you can talk a great deal about on the air, or kind of without you have to be careful about what you talk about and how much you talk about. But recruiting, obviously, a big part of what you do and coaching in general, and something you have to do throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. We really have to stay on top of that as well. As you're going through the season. Coach is out seeing a prospect tonight, and I'll go see one as soon as I leave here myself. So it's the lifeblood of trying to continue to win. It's you got to keep bringing in quality players and quality kids, and we've been very fortunate to do that over the last 4 or 5 years, and hopefully can continue to build upon what we have. And our players do a good job of selling our program, and our success has helped as well.
Let's hear now our earlier conversation with Eddie Payne, his thoughts on the past 2 games, and also specifically on the first game of this road trip, the Lipscomb Bison. Here's that conversation. Here with the head coach of the Spartans, Eddie Payne, as Coach Payne is on a recruiting trip tonight. His Spartans have a 3-game road stretch ahead of them, but coming off of 4 very strong performances inside the Hodge Center. Most recently, a very impressive 80-61 win over Mercer. Coach, congratulations on the last 4 wins, but I think most impressively the 80-61 win on Saturday versus Mercer. Congratulations to your team, your staff, and a great job getting that win on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a great performance by our team, and it kind of, as those 4 games went along, I thought our team got better in each game. And, the first half was the first 30 minutes actually against Kennesaw was a little shaky, I think, coming off the Ty's injury. But the last 10 minutes of that game we played well, I thought, and then we played well pretty much throughout the game against Mercer. So it was a good home stand, and hopefully it gives us the kind of emphasis we need to build upon that.
Coach, we could point to a couple of different players as far as individual efforts over the past couple of games, but it just seems like that your entire team has stepped up their game in the front court and the back court, off the bench, and it just seems like over these past 4 matchups that almost every facet of your team has jumped a level.
Yeah, I think that's true. Maybe partly you think that way and feel that way because you played your best in the last game against probably the best team. So it's natural to think that way. So I think the contributions off the bench, Ricardo Glenn's been solid throughout, and Torrey Craig picked his game up significantly in the Mercer game. And then, like you say, go down the roster of the guys who played, everybody did something significant during that time. So that's a good thing. It's a good sign. Hopefully we can continue it as we hit a tough road swing.
Coach, we won't keep you long. We know you're busy on the road, but the 3-game road stand starts with Lipscomb on Thursday. It really seems like you've had their number the past couple of times out. Got the win at home versus them earlier in the year. And then the last game in Allen Arena, it was a long time ago last year, but it seems like you've really played well versus the Bison's past couple of times out.
Well, we have. I think, of course, they got a new coach this year, and that makes all the difference. Casey Alexander's doing a terrific job with the team. Now, they have a smaller team. We have some really different matchups going in the game. They are third. Coach Hart gave me this stat today. Third in the country in number of 3-point shot attempts, and 8th in the country of number of 3-point shots made. So it's a different type of team, a different style of playing. We certainly going to have to adjust that style. Our big guys are going to have to defend away from the basket. So all those things make it much different and in many cases more difficult. And then add to the fact that they just got through winning 3 straight games on the road. So obviously they're playing well.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time, and we will talk to you Thursday from Nashville.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
That's the head coach of the Spartans, Eddie Payne, joining us here on the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. Back here from Buffalo Wild Wings now, and before we continue on our men's portion, I want to quickly highlight the Lady Spartans, and gosh, have they been playing well. Now 11-9, 6-3 in the conference. The latest win was at Jacksonville. They swept Jacksonville and North Florida on the road, 66-58. They won inside Memorial Arena. 36 points for Brittany Clancy. They will next be at home versus Stetson and Florida Gulf Coast. That next home game will be Thursday the 6th, as we said, 7 o'clock tip from the Hodge Center, and then Saturday the 8th against Gulf Coast, 2 p.m. in Spartanburg. So hope you can make it out to those, you can go to upstatespartans.com for more information. We'll take another break, come back, have a few questions for Coach Perry, and also preview Lipscomb, Northern Kentucky, and maybe ETSU as well. That's when we return. You're listening to the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show on 950 and 1330 and upstatespartans.com.
Tweet your questions for Coach Payne or Coach George at Upstate Spartans. We'll have more Upstate Basketball Coaches Show after this.
There's a reason why USC Upstate is one of the fastest growing universities in South Carolina. Promoting excellence in academics, student life, and athletics, USC Upstate offers 40 majors and is nationally recognized for its schools of business, nursing, and education. The Spartans compete in NCAA Division I as part of the Atlantic Sun Conference with 17 teams. Learn more at uscupstate.edu or call 503-5000. USC Upstate, where excellence expands across the upstate of South Carolina and beyond.
I'm sitting at midcourt, and the last time around, the wave took out half of my Coke, and it's coming again.
The wave is coming.
We, the fans, must stop this wave and protect our Coke. It's still coming. Cheerleaders, fire the t-shirt guns. Buzzer guy, distract them with buzzing. Wolf, howl. Hold on! Looks like we did it. Nice job, everybody.
Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
In the nation, they go by Guardian, Lifesaver, and Friend. At Nationwide Insurance, we just call them agents. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation that cares.
Nationwide is on your side.
All USC Upstate alumni receive a special discount on their auto insurance through Nationwide. Call Jeff Clark at 814-3003.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
Back here on WORD 950 and 1330. Happy to have you with us on this Tuesday night. Assistant Coach Kyle Perry joining us tonight as Coach Payne is on the road recruiting. And, Coach, we now have a couple of questions for you and about the past couple of games and just the future for the Spartans. And first thing, and not really a question, just kind of want you to comment on, as you mentioned to us a couple of weeks ago that you feel like in this level of basketball, you've almost kind of go with the philosophy of you hold serve at home and try to steal some on the road. You've pretty much been down the middle with that, being able to be victorious on your home floor, still looking for your first road conference win. Now you've got a big opportunity to do that with 3 straight on the road.
Yeah, we do, Phil, and you really got to be ready when you go on the road. You got to, even more so than being at home, you got to have a heightened sense of really attacking, really going after people offensively and defensively, because you're going into somebody else's arena and you're trying to win. You're trying to, basically go into their house and get a win. So you really got to be on your game. You really got to be tough, and you got to really be mentally tough to stick to what you're doing and go out and get a win.
Coach, you have those hostile atmospheres like a Gulf Coast or even a Mercer at times, but there's also those places where you go in the league where it's almost like maybe there's not that many people there, and you can almost maybe get caught in the trap of being in a vacuum, that there's next to no atmosphere and you have to create it, and maybe you don't play as well as you'd like.
Those atmospheres can be tougher than playing at gyms that are packed sometimes, because your kids you're on the road, you're out of your routine, you're in a hotel, and then you walk into a gym that's not a lot of people. It can be tough. You got to get your kids ready to play, but you don't play because of the fans. You don't play because of the crowd. You got to convince. It's just like practice. You have to be ready to go every day, and that's what we try to do. We've been really trying to sell our kids on, if you practice well, you'll play well. And so that's been our goal to this point, is just continue to practice well and playing. When we step on the floor to play, we'll be ready to play.
Coach, with Ty Green out, you needed maybe a little bit more depth there in your backcourt. You decided to go with Josh Cuthbertson, the freshman from New Bern, North Carolina. He's played 2 games. Talk about how he's played and also why the decision to go with Josh.
Josh has played well. He's a great kid. He's really defended well, Phil. He's filled in a role for us in the last game. He was really big. I think he played 17 minutes.
Yep.
And guarded Bud Thomas and really did a good job. He was really ready to play, and so he has been huge Josh made the decision himself. We asked him, we need another player. When Ty went out, we only had 4 guards. And we just, we were a little bit nervous about going into a game, and if somebody else gets hurt, then, you're really down. And Josh, said, hey, I'm for whatever the team needs. And for a kid to do that this late in the season really speaks of his character and what type of kid he is. And he really, it says a whole lot about him because, we have 9 games left. He could have easily said, nah, Coach, I don't want to give up my red shirt at this point. So it just speaks volumes about what type of kid he is to do that.
And it looks like he brings some good attributes out there as well. It seems like he's very good shooting the basketball. You mentioned his defense on Bud Thomas.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. He's still getting in the flow offensively. When you haven't played, you're a freshman, you haven't played in any college games, and you sit over there and watch for 20 games, and all of a sudden you start playing. It's difficult. So he, he's got to get in a little bit more of a flow, but what he has done is he has stepped in and he's kind of filled in, and he's really not hurt us, and he's helped us, and I think that's going to continue to improve the more games he plays, is he's going to continue to help us, and the kid's going to obviously get better and better as we move on.
We're going to take one more break here on the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. When we come back, we will preview the Lipscomb Bisons, who are next up for Upstate on Thursday night from Allen Arena in Nashville. That's when we return to Buffalo Wild Wings on WOEZL Boulevard in Spartanburg. You're listening to the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show on News Radio WORD 950 and 1330 AM, and also watching on UpstateSpartans.com.
Tweet your questions for Coach Payne or Coach George at Upstate Spartans. We'll have more Upstate Basketball Coaches Show after this.
Are you looking for a place to make your home next year? Sign a lease on an apartment at College Point, and all fees will be waived. 4-bedroom apartments are just $469 a month, and 3-bedroom units are just $495 a month. And you get to enjoy all the fun and excitement of living right next to the USC Upstate campus. Call College Point today at 864-503-0333. That's 864-503-0333. College Point, your lifestyle, your home.
I'm sitting at midcourt, and the last time around, the wave took out half of my Coke. And it's coming again.
The wave is coming.
We, the fans, must stop this wave and protect our Coke. It's still coming. Cheerleaders, fire the t-shirt guns. Buzzer guy, distract them with buzzing. Wolf, howl. Hold on! Looks like we did it. Nice job, everybody.
Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
There's a reason why USC Upstate is one of the fastest growing universities in South Carolina. Promoting excellence in academics, student life, and athletics, USC Upstate offers 40 majors and is nationally recognized for its schools of business, nursing, and education. The Spartans compete in NCAA Division I as part of the Atlantic Sun Conference with 17 teams. Learn more at uscupstate.edu or call 503-5000. USC Upstate, where excellence expands across the upstate of South Carolina and beyond.
One final time here from Buffalo Wild Wings on this February 4th edition of the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show with the assistant coach of the Spartans, Mr. Kyle Perry. And, Coach, we talked about it with Coach Payne on the phone a couple of moments ago, but your next opponent is Lipscomb inside Allen Arena in Nashville. Played well against them early on. Last time you were there, Coach, you really gave it to them, but they have a different coach. The Smith twins, Martin Smith, really good for them. Played well against him. I think he went maybe deep into the second half and didn't have any points, if my memory serves me correctly. But it's an ASUN game on the road, and that's never easy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, Phil. And they have a new coach, Casey Alexander, Coach mentioned, and Casey is he's done a great job. He did a great job at Stetson. I have a lot of respect for those guys. So they will be ready to play. They're playing well right now. It'll be a tough game. We'll have to play really well. Our kids, have to continue to buy into playing defense, and we're going to have to guard them from the three-point line. I mean, we really do a great job of helping defensively. With this game, we're going to have to really get to shooters because they they shoot a lot and they make a lot. So it'll be a tough game, and our kids will have to be ready to play to go in there and win.
Is there any type of different defensive strategy that you try to use against a team that's going to shoot as many outside jumpers as the Bisons?
You know, you try to stay up on shooters as much as you can. You know, our philosophy is to stop penetration. So this game, you know, it changes a little bit. We try to really, you know, talk to our kids about being aware, being alert, and getting to shooters quickly. Don't be slow. Don't shuffle to a shooter, sprint to them and close out and, you know, have a high contest and, you know, turn and box out, get long rebounds, because when you shoot that many threes, there's a lot of long rebounds, which guards have to get in and corral. So we really have to do a good job of boxing out and gang rebounding as a team.
Coach, not to look too far ahead, obviously you've got to focus on Lipscomb, but Northern Kentucky on Saturday play pretty small as a team, not as small as they were last year, but they're still kind of in the infancy stages of making that transition and are still kind of in that phase as a team. Got the best of them early on in the year, but they're tough as well.
They are. Them and Lipscomb both, you know, are different matchups. They play smaller. They both can shoot it. You know, Northern Kentucky runs a motion offense where they can really get anybody out on the floor. They can have their 5 men out on the floor. They can have their 4 men out on the floor. They can really create some problems because you have to switch against them a lot of times. So you can get a guard on a post guy, and so you got to really stay down and guard those guys, and you got to really communicate and talk through screens. They set a lot of flare screens,
right.
And so it's a tough matchup as well because they're different. You know, so when you go against Lipscomb and Northern Kentucky both, it's a different type of game. So you got to be ready. You got to be prepared to kind of change the way you typically would play.
Coach, real quick, obviously a good bit in the future, but ETSU in Johnson City, kind of the wrinkle they bring is the zone, 2-3 zone. They like to play on defense.
Yeah, they're very aggressive with it. They, you know, if you get in the middle, you got to really be strong with the ball, and you got to go inside out. If you catch it and you're soft with it, they'll take it from you. And Coach Bartow's been there for a while. They do a great job, and they can create a lot of turnovers and transition baskets out of that zone by, you know, just if you're not strong with the ball and you don't really move it and reverse it and get inside out with it.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much for joining us,
Thanks,
and we'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.
That's Assistant Coach Kyle Perry, and that'll do it for this edition of the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show. I want to thank you for joining us tonight and want to kind of acclimate you to what the broadcast schedule will be for the next couple of days. Come Saturday, or come Thursday, I should say, Upstate at Lipscomb, 7 p.m. tip from Allen Arena, 6:45 pregame show. From Nashville. Hope you can join us for that. And then on Saturday, Upstate will make the trip to Northern Kentucky. Bank of Kentucky Center is where we will be from Highland Heights, Kentucky. Upstate and the Norse will get going at 7 o'clock as well, 6:45 with the Coca-Cola pregame show. And then on Monday, the 10th, be sure to change your schedules. This game was originally scheduled for last Monday, but it's coming up this Monday from the Mini Dome in Johnson City, 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock starts on Thursday, Saturday, and Monday right here on News Radio WORD. We'd like to thank Ryan back in the studio. For Coach Perry, I'm Phil Cox. We'll talk to you Thursday from Lipscomb. You've been listening to the Upstate Basketball Coaches Show on News Radio WORD, 950 and 1330, and on UpstateSpartans.com.
At Enterprise, we not only rent great cars, we sell them too.
And buying from us is different than buying from anyone else.
At Enterprise, we clearly
all right, good to go.
Price on every car.
No games, that's the price. And every vehicle comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited powertrain warranty.
We'll even buy it back if you're unhappy for any reason.
It's like a happiness guarantee.
Haggle-free buying, worry-free ownership.
Let us show you what that means.